Thank you for joining us on Salt and Pepper Unleashed. This ain't your grandma's nursing home. Today we're joined by Lisa Burns, co-founder of LivNow Relocation. With over 25 years of experience in relocation and senior living, Lisa has transformed how older adults and their families navigate the move into senior living communities. She's passionate about making transitions seamless and stress-free, and LivNow's innovative approach creates happier residents and stronger community connections. Lisa, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. It's really appreciate you coming here. I know you're here for multiple reasons, and I know you've been traveling a lot, so really appreciate the time. And so with that, we'll just jump right into it.
Awesome.
And so, 25 years, and I think of 25 years, don't take this the wrong way, but that's a quarter of a century.
Mm-hmm.
A quarter of a century you've been doing this for seniors in the realm of senior living. So I'm curious, what first inspired you to focus on helping older adults through this type of transition? Because it's not a kind of a well-known transition to a lay audience. I mean, you've got to go through it to actually know that it exists. Mm-hmm. So what kind of ignited that fire, if you will?
Yeah, thanks for asking. So what's interesting, and I shared just briefly before everyone got on here today, that I went to school for broadcasting and film, right? So how do I get here this later in life? Out of college, I went actually into real estate instead.
Okay.
So I went into property management, real estate. I was a property manager, trainer, all that good stuff. But during that time, I had the opportunity to help many people in my family and in life make moves. Interestingly enough, my career transitioned into relocation, right? So I went from property management into corporate housing, which naturally started to make the fit to supporting people throughout their move process. I helped parents, grandparents, siblings. For some reason, everyone came to me. The minute you say I can help someone move, you get the phone call. And honestly, I appreciate that because it's not an easy thing. I don't care if you're going to college, right? Moving is not easy. It's stressful. There's a lot of things to think about. And so I appreciate the fact that people need support and resources and don't try to do it on their own. They shouldn't have to. So it's been 25, and I'm going to say plus, because you're so kind, years that I have been in this industry, loving it, loving every second of it.
So let me ask you this, 25 plus years ago, did you even know what senior living
Nothing.
What, right? So, I mean,
Zilch.
a lot of people kind of stumble into senior living, but I feel like once they stumble into it, it's like, okay, this is something different. I enjoy this. I love serving this population. And so I guess over that time frame, at what point did you kind of discover, there's a whole market over here with arguably an even greater need for this type of service than any others?
And to your point, you do stumble. You stumble into corporate relocation, which is where I started, right? No one goes to school to be a global mobility specialist. They don't even know it exists.
True.
So you kind of just stumble into these things. And when I was in that space, helping on the global mobility side, I was also helping families with their moves just to wherever they're going, and maybe into senior living, but just maybe downsizing, getting into something smaller, a condo, whatever it was. That's when I started learning about the senior space, right? Like, wait, I need to understand more about what's out there. And so through grandparents and people like that, you start to realize there's a whole other world that you're just not in tune with because you're growing up and you're being a kid and you don't, I just wasn't exposed. So it's been one of those situations where in my life, it's been knowledge, education, hit passion, because I understood the process. I know the moving world. I get everything that has to happen. This is the passion part, right? And today, I've never worked harder in my life, but I don't work a day in my life. And it's the honest to God truth. My kids will be like, Mom, are you ever going to come home? I'm like, maybe someday, whenever I get there, right? But I love what I do, and we are just blown away that we can do this all the time. So.
I think because it's one of those things where people don't realize how big of a challenge it is until they're in the thick of it. And then unfortunately at that point, a lot of times it's not too late, but you've already missed so much opportunity to mitigate the hardships that become a reality. But I want to back up. I'm dying to know, what is the one thing that you learned in broadcast and film, whether it's a knowledge, skill set that you've carried? Like, what is the most translatable knowledge or skill set that you learned that really drives your success today?
Everyone has a story, and everyone has to tell their story. And honestly, I love stories. And the other thing I love, 6 degrees of separation. Because the longer you talk to somebody, you'll find a connection.
Yeah.
I mean, I literally was talking to a woman who I met at a conference who has a home in Ireland. I'm like, oh, I have a family farm in Ireland. Where is it? Well, we're within like blocks. Come
That's
on.
wild.
I'm in Dallas. I'm at a conference. Those are the things I love. Like, tell me more. Where are you from? Well, tell me about that. Well, how did that happen? And the more I drill in, I'm like, there's a connection here. Even with your future residents I was with this morning, right? Graduate of IU. I'm like, my nephew's going to go to school there. He signed as a quarterback. They said, so the two of us now, every time we get together,
you're going to be
we're talking about this.
And IU football right now is quite the topic to be
It is
talking
a
about.
huge
It is quite the topic, especially as the quarterback.
So it's fun to say that, right?
Yeah, it is.
Like,
that's a very cool thing. And you're so right. It's like the more intentional we are about trying to understand someone else's story, the more you understand who they are, the more you can serve them with empathy and understanding and grace, which is a lot of time what our seniors need in this process. And I'm sure you can attest to that time and time again. Sometimes they need to slow down. They need that emotional support. It's not necessarily even the physical component. It's a lot of these other things. I do this often, but you've got me digressing here again. 6 degrees of separation. Have you ever read the book Tipping Point?
I haven't.
So it's a very interesting read to begin with.
Okay.
I say read loosely.
Yeah.
More of a listen for me and more of an audible guy.
Yeah.
But Tipping Point talks about the origination of 6 degrees of separation. And in reality, it's less than 6. I think it's like 4.1 on average. So there's some math behind that. So
I love it.
Keep that in mind.
All right. Thank you.
And so back to the subject at hand here, we know that our residents and prospective residents and seniors making this transition across the country all the time, there's a lot of common challenges that they end up facing. Help us understand, what are those top challenges that you see those folks experience time and time again?
Yeah. Number one, they're treasures. Right? That's no surprise.
Is there capitalized, underlined, italicized? Yeah.
They're treasures. And I get it, right? It's years of a life that you want to your point, respect, understand. What I think is interesting, you made a comment too, when you slow down, you actually speed up. Because when you slow down and listen and hear and understand, it allows them to move forward. So that's that empathy in action, right?
Well, and on that same note, it allows you to learn so much more about, like, you make up so much ground by listening to those stories, because you're able to make those connections versus trying to force them to the outcome that you're going to end up getting to.
Right.
But forcing creates resistance and takes a lot longer to get there. So that's a quotable. Slowing down actually speeds you up.
Yeah, if you slow down, you'll actually speed up. But to your point, if someone just walks in a home and says, all right, well, you're going to get rid of all that, we'll donate that, we'll do that, whoa.
Guard up.
I can't.
Yes.
So that's the overwhelming feeling. The overwhelming is sitting there thinking, I'm not sure how to do this. Yeah. Overwhelming is introducing them to someone that's not there to listen to them, but just manage them.
Yeah.
And then if you can pass those two barriers and you get someone in there that's actually going to listen and honor them and support them and move them forward, now you're helping remove those barriers. So the biggest thing, I think, is one, introducing them to the right people. people that understand this move. You don't just hire someone to help someone move, right? Maybe your kid to college. But other than that, you hire someone that understands this segment of life and can really go in there and help them do it. So that's a big piece of it. Who are you introducing them to support them? Today, too, the other thing that's, I don't want to say scary, but scary is scams, right? There is so much out there today that who do you trust? Who do you know and trust? And are they who they say they are? Yeah. So when we think about barriers, it's not necessarily, well, darn, I got to sell my home and it's more about the emotional side, the right people that you introduce them to, and then making sure those people are legit, right? Vetted. That helps the equation in making someone feel comfortable and making the move.
And that makes so much sense because your business model is first of all, it's dependent on people successfully making this move and you know the outcome that they're happy. The transitions are always tough, but mitigating those stressors as much as possible, which leads to more communities wanting to partner with you, more senior living organizations wanting to partner with you, which leads to more residents, you know, kind of lives transitioned, more opportunities for you to partner with other, but it all starts with that relationship with the first community or, you know, again, 6 degrees of separation. It's, you know, you're dependent on past successful relationships to drive more business and you're dependent on making sure that you're vetting the best partners to ensure that you drive that satisfaction and those positive outcomes. And so at the end of the day, the service is really secondary. It's really the trust and relationships that you're working towards. Am I?
All day long. Yes.
Is that a fair assessment?
100%.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. We had someone tell us when we were first getting started from a community, can you just deliver happier residents to me? Because I think the other thing is when we think about a community, the biggest stress that a family has is where am I going to go next, right? That's where do I call home? Where's my next home? Follow right behind it is how am I going to get there? Yeah. And if we're not thinking about the experience from interest all the way through 365 days in, you're missing a big piece of it because that is the entire. If you're helping them and supporting the experience up front, and they come in happier, healthier, more engaged and ready to roll, you've got so much more.
How long ago was that community asked you for that outcome, to deliver that outcome?
How long ago?
Yeah, well, the reason I'm asking is it's almost like
as
indirect as that is, I almost feel like asking for that outcome enabled you to figure out the best way possible to get there versus we need you to move these residents in.
Right.
Well, you're not slowing down to think about that's not really the outcome.
Right.
That's not really the desired outcome because if that's all you're doing, then you're missing a lot of opportunity on the back end there, which is really, like you said, more satisfied, happier residents. And to your point, man, you want to talk about the potential for physical, emotional, cognitive declination through that process that you're preventing to now residents can hit the ground running, engaging in activities and new friendships and experiencing this new home. I mean, it's like you're giving them a jump start on the new chapter in their life.
Totally. I mean, I'm sure you see people all the time that move in and you see a good move-in experience.
Absolutely.
And you see maybe not as great a move-in experience.
Full spectrum.
Right?
Full spectrum.
And there's a big difference there.
And to your point, you can go back and look at that full spectrum of outcomes and you can see the difference in the process that led to those outcomes. And boy, there's a high correlation between the kind of the services and relationships that led to these good outcomes and kind of drop you off and we'll see you later with these bad outcomes. And then unfortunately in those, a lot of time it's just folks not knowing what to do themselves, family members not knowing how to go about it. And then we as the community are trying to pick up those pieces and put it all back together. And, you know, some take a little bit longer to put it back together than others. And just, you know, getting that delay off the table and giving them that jump start is invaluable. So I love that. So in that, what does kind of that seamless move look like from start to finish?
So ideally, a little time. You know, if there are planners, if there are people that are actually, so a little time is always beneficial to introduce them to, in our team, like a relocation specialist. So that one point of contact where we like to say, your adult daughter, type A, who is an expert in relocation, right? I mean, that's truly the person that they're receiving on the other end. They care that much, but they're going to support them and help them, and they're going to make sure this is the best experience for them moving into the community. So earlier is always better because it allows us the time and the energy to do that. But we can move people if we need to faster, right? We still have the right resources and tools. We still got the support. But if we can do that, if we can introduce them to those right providers at the right time that we've vetted, what I love too is our team isn't just, all right, here's someone, here's someone, here's someone. They will do a whole needs assessment with the family. What are your needs? Tell me more. What's keeping you up at night? So it's that whole learning, listening, right? And then here's what we're going to do. It's not going to happen today. We're going to do this in bite-sized pieces. We'll create your personal timeline in your journey so that you know every step of the way what's happening, right? And then from there, it's setting appointments. So tomorrow you're going to meet with XYZ. She's a professional senior move manager. She's going to do a free hour consultation. And after that meeting, I'm going to call you tomorrow and we're going to talk about it. How did it go? How did you like that person? What questions do you have? Right? So it's literally hand holding, but we say educate and advocate. They're there making the decisions, but we're here to really provide the right people at the right time so they're making the best decisions for them and managing it with them throughout the entire process.
You know what I think is interesting about that approach is you're like you said, you're not deciding for them.
No.
But what you're also doing is you're not just allowing space for them to, you know, raise their hand and say, "Oh, I don't like this." You're prompting. You're saying, no.
Right.
We need to know.
Right.
What did you like about that? What did you not like? Because if the relationship's off, it doesn't matter if the service is phenomenal in every other respect. That perception's already there,
Totally.
right? And the wrong relationship leads to the wrong outcome. I would imagine most times
it does, and it can stop them in their tracks. And I don't think that's what people realize is that when they send over someone, a senior room manager, whoever, realtor, whoever goes in their home, if that family is like, ooh, we'll just wait.
Yeah.
We'll just wait, right?
Yeah.
But if they have someone there that's following up, no, tell me more. I've got someone else. You can meet with so-and-so tomorrow. Let me know how that goes. Oh, I loved her. She was amazing. Now we keep them moving forward. But if we're not doing that, then maybe this isn't right time.
Yeah.
Maybe I shouldn't do this right now. Or I can't call my daughter. She's busy. I'm not going to burden someone else.
It's like the last thing you want to do is give them an excuse to not, you know, do what they're supposed to be doing or continue to move forward.
Right.
Let me ask you this. Who do you find, and I say who, generally speaking, when it comes to kind of those opportunities to say, oh, that didn't feel right, is it the resident saying that or is it the adult child?
The resident will tell us.
Do you, once you're involved, do the adult children kind of step back?
You know,
or do you see varying levels of involvement?
Very levels. But many times it's the adult, the parent, the person that's moving in. We're working directly with them, and they're sharing with us. Here's what I love too. We're a very unbiased, supportive person for them. We don't work for the community. We're not a community salesperson. We don't work for any of those companies. We don't own them. We don't work. We are only there for them and what's best for them. So we always tell them we have choices. This isn't you work with this person. You have choices. And they tell them up front, I'm going to introduce you to this person. I'm going to follow up afterward. I want to hear how it went and how you like them. Because you need to like who you're working with.
Absolutely. And I think, like I said before, just creating the space is one thing, which I think a lot of times these transitions, that's just not afforded the space to even think about or contemplate.
Right.
But taking a step forward and saying, no, I'm going to prompt you. I need feedback to know how you feel about this. Not it's like, how do you feel first? Now let's answer your questions.
Right.
Versus just jumping into it without trying to understand if they're even okay with what they were just presented.
Totally.
Yeah.
And there's respect there, right? It's funny, I go back, I just made you put a flash in my head when I bought my first car. And I will never forget this. My dad and I go to the car dealership, and the gentleman sitting across from me just talked to my dad, And my dad's like, by the way, I'm not buying this car. She is.
Oh, just an assumptive,
and, right? And he's like, okay. And then he would go back to my father. He's like, I think we're going to go somewhere else.
I was going to say,
and we're both sitting there like, at what point? Because I'm here. So reverse that.
Yeah.
And this future resident are smart, capable, intelligent, hardworking people who can listen to you and determine what's best for them. Now, granted, there are times when adult children need to play a part in this. God bless that. But if we're sitting across from someone and you just keep talking to the daughter, how do you feel?
Yeah.
I would say, this probably isn't the right fit, right?
I would imagine that the same thing rings true for couples.
Yes.
Where, whoever the assumption is made that this person's driving the boat without involving the other in the conversation, boy, you could create some real contention between those two. And now you have someone that's really eager about moving and someone who's got their heels dug in and they're not letting go of that treasure.
Yes.
And they start to make huge walls and objections over very small things. And it's not that small thing.
No.
We missed the opportunity on that relationship way earlier on in the process.
Yeah.
That's all very interesting. It sounds like there's just as much psychology involved in what you do as there is the actual physical services that are provided.
It's not the stuff, right?
Yeah.
I mean, movers can move stuff.
Absolutely.
We move people. It's just a different, so it's very much a person.
Yeah, and when you think about it, it's such an emotional process.
Big time.
That if you don't approach it as such, you're setting everyone up in that process for absolute failure.
Yes.
So I think it's interesting, just the level of awareness that you have around that, and the fact that you've kind of built your business model around that as being, that's the foundation of it, is the emotional component and building those relationships. The rest of it is easy after that.
Right.
Vice versa, the rest of it is next to impossible without it. So share with us maybe a story about a resident or family whose move was especially meaningful to you specifically, because I'm sure you've impacted a lot of lives, but give us an example of maybe someone's impacted you.
So we had a woman in the New York area who lost her husband 5 years prior. They had built their home, and the community sales director said, I've tried everything to help. I've gone there. I've done. She just won't. She can't leave her home. And I said, can we just give it a go? Like, there's nothing to lose, right? And she was failing health-wise. And so the relocation specialist reached out, and they had several conversations, just friends. I'm like, just be a friend, And as they started talking, she was able to say, I'll call her Margaret. Margaret, what if I just had this company? They come in, they'll just help you with your treasures, your things. And she said, all right, I'll meet with her, right? So this woman came in. Well, guess what? The relocation specialist followed up and she said, nope, don't like her. She was going to come in and do all this stuff. It was not a good first impression. And so the relocation specialist said, my goodness, I'm so sorry. I now know who you need to meet with. Now that you just shared that with me, would you just do me this one last favor? And she said, fine. Next person goes in, loves her. Okay, so we get to the point now where this woman can't even get off a chair. She is so frail. She is so declined. We got her the realtors. We helped her move through to the point where, like, anyway, she gets into the community. Okay, so fast forward. I go there 3 months later, and I say to the sales director, I'd really like to see Margaret. She's like, good luck getting on her social calendar because she is, like, all over the place. I'm like, Margaret, the woman who we moved who couldn't get. She said, you wouldn't believe it. Let's try her. So we called Margaret, and she said, Lisa's here. She wants to see you. And Margaret's like, oh my goodness, I have my hair appointment, and then I'm meeting the ladies for lunch. She couldn't meet with me.
Oh my God.
I said, this is the best, like, not meeting someone ever in my life, because she was not moving. She was going to basically be done, right? And we just transformed this woman into a life. So I went back 6 months later, and I called in advance to schedule
to get on her calendar.
So I went and had tea with her in her home, and it was, I can't, that to me.
Yeah. That's like the best, worst compliment, however you want to put it. You know, I'm sorry.
I'm
busy. Sorry, you changed my life, but I don't have time for you. Like, that's just phenomenal.
But you feel great.
Yes. No, absolutely. It's like you do feel like you've transformed their life because you knew where they were and the trajectory they were on.
Yes.
And then just for the sales director to be like, good luck.
She was like, and they all felt terrible. They're like, we want to help her so badly, but she will not.
I'm very curious to know, what was the difference between the two move managers?
One was very type A.
Okay.
Like, walk in, here's what we're going to do. Boom, 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 to that point.
Yep.
And so we were able to coach the next one too.
Yeah.
Obviously, it gave us a little insight into this is not going to be fitting for her. So we talked to the next person and said, here's what we need. And she went in there, and honestly, she kept her coming to her home. The senior move manager, she would go to her home once every other week for 2 hours. And the senior move manager said she technically doesn't really need anything, but she just loves that I helped her through this process. She goes, I don't charge her. I literally just go to her home every other week and have breakfast or lunch or whatever and spend time with her. And she asked me questions. You know what I mean? They built that relationship.
That's cool.
Right? So those are the things where you're,
So again, it goes back to that relationship piece. That's what she cared about.
Yes.
She cared about actually feeling like someone listened, and you almost, to me, it's, let me do this with you.
Yes.
Not at you.
Right.
Not even for you, not at you. Because sometimes that's what it feels like is, the service is being done at you.
Yes.
Not for you or even with you. And it does. It feels very different when that happens.
Yeah.
It's like having a conversation with someone. Are you talking to me, at me, or with me? Because this doesn't feel like a with me conversation.
Exactly.
So, oh man, that's such a cool story. Yeah. I'm sure you have some other end of the spectrum stories where you've probably been pulled in at, it's someone has really messed up the transition and you're asked to save it. Do you have any off the top of your head where, you can think of like the worst position that you could have been brought in, and then maybe not necessarily that amazing of an outcome, but really it's just talking about how bad it was and then the fact that you were able to save it?
So we have, I can't say that there's a really clear one. I can share with you, though, this is, I think, a big difference. So we work with the community, and at the end of the day, people can choose whoever they want to use. Like, then we're not saying you have to use this mover or anything like that. They can choose. The community called us in a panic. The truck literally blew up. So the family's things are on the way to the community, and the truck blew up. And they picked up the phone and called me, like, right away. Lisa, the truck blew up. I'm like, the truck blew? So I'm going through.
When you say the truck blew up, are you saying like the engine blew or the truck?
It blew up. Their stuff was gone.
No.
Oh, it was horrible. It was like on the news, the whole thing.
Oh, my goodness.
So right away.
Literally.
Yes, literally.
Wow.
And by the way, these are your last final possessions, kind of in a way,
yeah,
right?
You've
These are your
rid of all your treasures.
And it's gone. So right away, I'm like, what's the name of the family? I'm searching. I'm like, we didn't help them.
They got their own mover.
They had their own movers.
No.
Do they have insurance? What's the valuation? How's this going to, so the community too was like, shoot. Because if it's us, they know we've got coverage. We've got all the things that are needed for that family in a really difficult time. Unfortunately, they were like, ooh, hold on, we'll figure this out. And again, that's a situation. It doesn't happen all the time, but when you said that, right away, I'm picturing the thing blowing up. We have had times where people have come to us because they've listed with a realtor that the house sat on the market for a year and it should have never done that, right? Wow. There are so many situations that they'll call us and say, we can't sell our house. And I'm like, really? So we help them, coach them, provide guidance, do a lot of that, just, to support and help them. But typically, if we're introduced to people in the process, even if we're just giving them the resources to make sure they're making the best decisions, they're having a better move than just doing it on their own.
I would imagine you've shared that story in times where residents are, you're in conversations and they're thinking, no, we'll do it ourselves.
Right.
Well, let me just tell you what doing it yourself could look like.
Right.
Because that is about the worst case scenario you could imagine.
Yes.
And then the worst case scenario, truck blowing up all your stuff, but then, they didn't have insurance. They didn't. I mean, then you start digging into it and peeling back the layers. You're like, this is worse than I even thought it was.
Right.
That is a tragedy, to say the least. And kind of leads me to, the next question. And we've kind of talked about this and alluded to multiple components, but specifically, how does LivNow's service strengthen the culture of a community and the satisfaction of its residents? Because I feel like there's a lot that we've talked about that kind of ties into that. But from your perspective, how do you see the culture of the community kind of building and growing and getting stronger? And then obviously that resident satisfaction piece.
I think that's exactly right. So when we're supporting a community with their future residents and we're doing a great job and we're delivering happier residents, what happens, right? They're coming in the community and we all know they share everything with everybody.
Sure do.
Right?
Yeah.
So they're saying what a great experience it was, how wonderful the community is. Just this morning, hearing from the residents saying, this is an amazing community. And the fact that they care that much about us to provide these services speaks volume, right? So right there, it's changing the way they're even thinking. So we always say too, in advance, when someone's coming in and they're touring and you're meeting with them and they're thinking, yeah, but I don't know, I got a lot to do. We got you covered. Yeah. We understand that. This is not something we take lightly. We know this is going to be, a transition that's going to require some thought, consideration. We got you covered. So now you're starting, as I mentioned, that experience from day one, and you guys do a great job here. I listened this morning to everything I could go to on the speaker in my guest room.
Yeah.
So I was like, darn it, I think I'm going to miss some of these classes, but I wish I could go. But that's the culture. And then they're sharing that information and knowledge about how much this community cares about their future residents and their existing residents, right? So it just naturally creates this. So to the point where the group in New York, that community, I go out there, I do presentations, I'm seeing people all the time. They have a 365-person wait list, and I'm out there and I see them. I'm like, why are you still on the wait list? What are we waiting for, right? So we continue to build just as a team. We're all working together to support everyone so you have a great experience.
I would imagine, too, that it's like the residents that are going through that process and having that experience are the best salespeople, not just for future residents for that community, but also for you and your services.
Yes.
I have to share this with you, and hopefully, this will kind of be the icing on your cake for today. Obviously, I wasn't at the event this morning, but just in the time from the event concluding till when I came in to, have this conversation, I had 4 individuals that either came and sought me out specifically, or that I just ran into in the lobby or wherever that attended and just said, oh my goodness, it's so nice. everything that you're doing for us to prepare us for this transition, going through this process with people and knowing that we're not in this alone. And, this is hard, but it feels so good to know that we're doing this with other people and building friendships before we move in. And and these weren't people that came up to me together.
Right.
These are 4 distinct conversations. And so it's funny that, you say that, but I've literally just experienced it today.
Nice.
In the last couple hours. So
good. Right.
I think that's quite a testament.
To you too, right? Yeah. That's what they said. They're like, they think this much. Yeah. So that's amazing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It just goes to show how relational it all is, how cyclical it all is. So, so very, very cool. Neat to see how it all pans out like that. Do right, don't be right. And it's like, sometimes you're a little forceful, you're not slowing down, you're just trying to be right, get it done, versus, whoa, let's do right, let's learn, let's slow down. So kind of the same concept there. So I'm curious, you've been doing this doing this well and getting better as you go for 25 plus years. What's next for LivNow? What's the next 25 plus years?
Maybe international.
Like? Oh, there we go.
I was just mentioning that on LinkedIn, someone reached out and said, I love what you're doing. Will you come international and do this? And I was like, okay, let's get the U.S. done first.
we got a ways to go
we're
in the
going to
U.S.
go Canada, then we'll
absolutely.
go. No, I think honestly, we just, again, and this is just, we are so loving what we're doing. We've got technology coming out. So the future of 26 for the residents will be able to literally see everything going on with their move on technology, iPad, whatever they need. So that's really nice. So now it's a very easy, clear, this is who's coming tomorrow, information right at their fingertips, right? So technology to be able to scale it and put it out there. We're part of AARP, Age Tech Collaborative. So we're one of the companies that they brought into their group. They've invested in our company. I love it. We go out to their seminars in DC. We meet all these incredible people in the longevity space. My goal is to continue to bring innovation, information, knowledge to families, to communities. I mean, that's where I just get excited, right? Like, how can we do this better, more efficient, easier? And make sure that everyone has access to what they need to live their best life today. And by the way, I had a woman yesterday at the community that I did a presentation at after work come up to me, and we were talking, and she said, Lisa, I just want to live now. And I said, you mean like this? And I showed her my T-shirt, and she's like, yes. And now, granted, she heard me presenting the whole time, so it was in her brain.
Yes.
But it was almost like, she looked at my shirt like, yes, I just want to live now. And I said, we named this company because we want everyone to live their best life today. Wherever that is in your journey, live your best life today. That's all. That's what
it makes complete sense too. It's like a lot of times without that support, you see folks almost like we said earlier, it's either they become stagnant, head in the sand, heels in, whatever it is, or potentially a decline.
Yes.
Versus gearing up for
thriving.
It's like you're the springboard for potentially the best chapter of their lives.
Yes.
So, well, I this is all great. This is very reassuring to me. Obviously, partnering with you and having a lot of our residents be exposed to your services. Just knowing that. This is the approach. It's kind of a resident first approach. It's the relationship first approach. And just today in the short little bit between event this morning and this podcast, multiple residents telling me how great this is and how good they feel. Because a lot of times this is the point in time where people start getting, maybe I'm not ready. Maybe I don't want to make a move versus they're telling me to dig faster and build faster. And so I love that. So thank you so much.
Absolutely.
And so with that, we're gonna end our conversation with what has become our signature question. And so with that, I want to know if you could be remembered for one thing, personally or professionally, what would it be?
Passionate about making a difference in people's lives where they are today. And I know that's very like broad and whatever, but if I can help someone make a difference in their life, then I'm good. I think that question, it's funny because when I saw that on there, I thought this is a question we should start asking kids.
Yeah. Ooh.
Because if you do this earlier and you said, what would you want to be remembered for? Let's start at 5. You know, they do those little chalkboards that say, what do I want to be when I grow up? An astronaut or whatever. What do you want to make? What would you want to be remembered for? I mean, I don't want it to sound morbid to them, but that's cool because that's your North Star. Like, what do I want to achieve in life? Because it's not financial success.
And asking at age 5, you get the
most
pure, honest, absolutely unadulterated responses that you would ever get.
And wouldn't it be fun every year to ask them that question?
I was thinking the same, that maybe every 5, because if you do it every year, they're still thinking about what they answered last year.
Yeah.
But if you do every 10 years, they forgot what they said.
Yes.
And their life has changed tremendously. But
it's fun to keep that in the back of their mind because now this is my kind of what am I doing what I said I was going to do or be remembered by, or am I going the wrong path?
Yeah.
You know?
Now, would you say that answer applies both personally and professionally?
Oh,
is that the kind of your North Star, if you will?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. For friends, family, whoever.
Well, I feel like you even mentioned it kind of started that way.
Yes, totally.
I mean, it all kind of started that way.
Totally.
So, 25 plus years ago, it starts with friends and family. And here you are doing it professionally day in and day out.
Yeah.
Loving it, leaning into it, and not working a day in your life. I mean, you've said it yourself. So, well, you're doing it, girl. I love it.
Cha-ching.
There you go. Well, Lisa, again, thank you so much. I appreciate your time, both with our residents this morning, as well as time to sit and have this conversation. And I look forward to seeing you next week at a large industry conference in which I'm sure you'll have opportunity to meet a lot of new potential clients as well. So
thank you.
Looking forward to it. And thank you again.
This is an honor. Thank you.